Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mikey, intern Ned Reynolds back in the studio on a Wednesday morning. The Missouri State Bears back out on the diamond against a very tough hombre yesterday.
Number 2 in America, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and that's the second team of all of them in the country. They're very, very, very good. And the Bears won. What do you know about that? Interesting ball game. You have to understand the Bears have a lot of power on their team. They don't have a whole lot of pitching, but their power is very much in line with many of the top Division I teams in the country. So the Bears got an early lead over Arkansas. The Razorbacks come back with 9 runs in the 4th inning and have the lead and lead the entire game. In the 9th inning, the score is 13-8. Arkansas leading, and the Bears tied it with 5 runs in the top of the 9th inning. Missouri State has an All-America candidate at second base named Nick Rodriguez. This is his second year with the team. Guy's a tremendous defensive player and an even better offensive player. He had 5 RBIs last night. He was a key in the 9th inning. And then in the top of the 10th, he hits a home run, and the Bears win 14-13. And so that's a huge win. It is for Missouri State. But just a little caveat, and I'm not being negative here, but these are midweek games. They're important. They all count and all that sort of thing. But teams playing in conferences like the Bears in the Missouri Valley and Arkansas in the SEC very rarely use their top-line pitchers during the week. They save them for the conference games. So perhaps this wasn't Arkansas's top-line pitchers. It doesn't matter. Bears win the game. That's what counts on the record. Missouri State 14, Arkansas 13. They will play again here in town later on in April.
That score itself should tell you they weren't using their best pitchers out there. Yesterday when you came in here, you told me we had, 3 players from the Bears in the transfer portal. Now we've got more?
5. Well, this is just not good. You knew about in the 3 in recent days, Des White, Mekhi Valentine, and Jalen Hampton. Now add 2 more. Now these are guys who did not play a whole lot last year. Jarrell Baldwin, a freshman who only played 2 minutes during the course of the season, and Mosai Downing Rivers, who did. He was projected as the Bears' point guard at the start of the year. And Downing Rivers just never met the challenge. He is in the transfer portal. So right now the Bears have 5, and there could be more in the coming days.
As far as the basketball world goes, we had some coaching changes yesterday, didn't we?
Have some interesting ones. Nevada, Las Vegas has hired Josh Pastner as their new head coach to replace Kevin Kruger, the son of Lon Kruger, who had been the longtime coach out there. Pastner is very interesting. He is a very good technical, X's and O's coach and all that. Had Memphis and he had Georgia Tech, but he also got in trouble down there. Now, whether or not you can get in trouble these days when the legalities have all changed, that remains to be seen. But anyway, Josh Pastner is the new head basketball coach in Nevada, Las Vegas. And the new head basketball coach for the women at Minnesota is Robin Pingeton. Just got fired as Missouri's coach, or she stepped down. But the fact is, after 15 years at Mizzou, Robin Pingeton, who's a former Valley coach at Illinois State, is now the new head coach at Minnesota. That's the Minnesota team that beat the Lady Bears. She wasn't coaching on Sunday, but she will inherit some of those players next year.
Interesting, going for colder weather. I figured at that point, after that long, you're probably trying to get some college gig in Florida, or at least in Arizona. The Kansas City Royals played their final spring game yesterday. Got a chance to watch it against the Rangers a little bit. When I saw it, I think the Royals were up 4-1. How'd the score go?
3-1.
Oh, 3-1.
Kansas City Royals won it by a score of 3-1, so they split that series. Now, those games were played at major league ballparks. Globe Life Park in Dallas is where, or actually Arlington, Texas. That's where the Texas Rangers play, and that's who the Royals beat yesterday. They're a division rival of the Royals, so playing them, of course, they're also the camp partners of the Kansas City out in Surprise, Arizona. Nonetheless, Kansas City wins that final exhibition game. They'll take today off. Allegedly. What they'll do is go to Kansas City. Of course, they'll prepare for the home game tomorrow, the first game of the season, and they'll prepare by going through some drills, infield drills, and batting practice and pitching practice and all that. It'll probably be about an hour and a half drill, then relax for the rest of the day, and get ready for the opening ceremonies tomorrow afternoon in Kauffman Stadium.
Opening day's almost here, my guy.
It
All
is.
right. Some interesting moves in the National Football League yesterday. Russell Wilson announced he's going to be a Giant for a year.
Which is one day after Jameis Winston
that
signed with the
QB
New
room
York
is
Giants.
gonna
That
be
is a
weird.
very strange circumstance because here you have Wilson coming in, who is a veteran starter, and so is Jameis Winston for that fact. But why do you sign two of them and make that payment? Well, there are two schools of thought for the Giants. Number one is going to trade one of them, probably Winston, if that's the case. Or number two, they're not paying him very much because Russell Wilson will be their starting quarterback. And there is the key. It's a one-year deal for Wilson. He is 36 years old. I thought he showed some pretty good promise with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year and then with the Denver Broncos prior to that. Wilson still has a lot of talent. Can he do anything with the Giants, who weren't very good last year? That remains to be seen. So now the next question is, what happens to Aaron Rodgers? Does he sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers? It is a possibility because other than Fields, well, hey, the Steelers don't have anybody. We'll see what happens. It's a long way to go, but free agency is very interesting in the National Football League.
It also is pretty telling that no one's bid on Rodgers yet. We'll have to see what happens with that because that's a weird situation in New York. Very, very strange. But it could be a combo thing. Like they may have saw what they were trying to do in Pittsburgh where they would kind of move in and out, and maybe that's what they're going to do with these two. Who knows? What teams led things for the tournament in the NCAA tomorrow when it starts?
Resumes tomorrow night, and the men will play a whole series of games tomorrow night. This is the round of Sweet 16. At the end of the weekend, they are really down. They get to the Elite Eight, and then on to the Final Four, and then on to the National Championship game. Tomorrow night, the first game will begin at 6 o'clock Central Time, and that's Brigham Young against Alabama. That will be a very good game. Contrasting styles by these two teams. A few minutes later, Maryland and Florida square off at another site. So you have two sites tomorrow and two sites on Friday, and the competition at that level all winds up on Sunday. Pretty good basketball coming up, Mike, and it'll be a lot of fun. The ladies begin theirs on Friday, and one of the number one seeds, Southern Cal, will do so without Juju Watkins, who is out for the rest of the year.
So if you play your cards right, starting tomorrow, at any given point, for the most part, you should either be watching basketball or baseball or a combination of both through the entire weekend.
This old man will be watching baseball for the most part during the day. Cardinals and Twins play, Cardinals and Royals, I should say, play during the afternoon, so you have a competition going on at contrasting times, but during the day, and then nights reserved for basketball.
All right, buddy. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.